Hello, everybody. Welcome back to vidIQ, where today we are looking at your channels to see how we can maybe add some flair to them, right? You've been uploading videos, things are going all right maybe, or maybe they're not going the way you had planned. Well, today we're going to hopefully find your channel or channels that are similar enough to yours where you can look at it and go, I didn't think of that. And we're going to be taking your questions. It's going to be a really fun couple of hours. Thank you so much for being here. Real quick, I want to let you know we have some super chats and different things that are missing right now from our back end. There's only one pinned thing from Gregos Gamers, so thank you. But we missed one from Goat Daddy and the Fam, so I can't pull it up right now, but it says, "What up, guys? Restarted the channel a couple weeks ago, had 10 shorts, get good views, some 20,000. Recently, my last 6 videos, similar content, got 5 views and some even 0. Seems really odd. Is that normal?" We can hopefully address this question in a minute when I bring Rob up. And then we have a few new members as well. Healthy Habits, Mind Matters, Alanye, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, and then Healing Dance Fitness. So I couldn't announce those properly, but I just wanted to let you know they are in the background. And thank you so much. Appreciate all of your support. Let's bring up Rob. Rob, how's it going?
Hey, everybody. Hello and welcome. I am in full Christmas mode. As you can see, sporting the jumper, sporting the lights in the background. And of course, it means that we need to change from green to red, which means...
Hey!
Yes, we are live. We are live. Dan, I have one question from last week. We mentioned yesterday that you were taking some time off to fortify your defenses in your castle. And we were trying to just establish, like, what did you install? Was it level 7 turrets or a level 3 moat? There was a big argument going on, but like, how, like, you know, fortified is your castle right now? You know,
contractors are super expensive and not reliable. I got a level 1 moat. That's all I could afford after I got the level 7 turrets. So, but I did get a mean guard cat. So
nice.
You know, it's outside. I think I didn't get a fence, and it can swim really well. So it might just have gone over the moat. So I'll have to go check. Maybe I should go do that actually. So you got this, right?
Sure. Yeah. Why not? Hey, everybody. Dan's going to go check out on his beast cat now. Oh, he's back. Oh, yeah. Maybe it's left. It's left.
I looked out the window. It is gone.
Oh, well. Never mind.
From Goat Dad and the Fam, what do you think of that question? So they had their recent 6 videos, all similar content, got like 5 views and even 0. Is that normal?
I'm just trying to read this again. So we've had some super chat problems, have we? And they've just not appeared. It seems odd if view counts have suddenly gone down. Restarted the channel, 10 shots, some 20k. Last ones I've got 5. That seems to suggest that YouTube's just decided to stop even testing the content. And I always have that highly suspicious thought at that point of whether YouTube's categorize the content, maybe it's for mature adults, or, you know, there's something that it's just not keen on. But as usual, without investigating the channel more and watching every single piece of content, very difficult to say. But yeah, it does seem a bit peculiar that all of a sudden views would just totally collapse if there isn't an obvious reason for it, like time sensitive content trending stuff.
And it could always be that they get tested later too. I mean, shorts are still very weird in that way, where you can have an old short, you look at it one day, you're like, when did it get 1,000 views? What's going on there? So you could try re-uploading them, like even just one of them. Watch them carefully, see if the hook in those other ones is of the same quality. It was only got 20,000 views. But okay, we will answer more of your super chat questions throughout the day. What we're going to do now is pivot towards, you know, checking out your channels. If you're new here, let us know with a hand-waving emoji in the chat, but not to the point where you lose focus, because you're also going to want to watch this like 30-second tutorial.
Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be put in timeout. If you need a channel audit right now, make sure to check out the vidIQ Coach AI tool that will help you with strategies, ideas, titles, scripts. Link in the description. It's a game changer. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started.
Is there anything else we need to announce before we start? There's always something.
All I was going to say is I want us to give people the choice of watching the live stream tutorial if you're new, or if you are a regular here, the option of me pressing, you remember, the now infamous advertisement button I've got here, which if I press it, it will just play an advert for them. So that may turn up if you annoy me at some point, like with a poor super chat question and so on.
Like how we start off by you threatening the audience. That's great. I think we're good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. If there is, we will let you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and sorry, I just noticed something in the background that's really confusing. And why don't we look at your channels? So, oh yes, if I click this button, there might echo. Let me know if it does. Hopefully it does not. Hopefully we're good and the audio's good and everything's good. Okay.
Sounds good on my end, Dan.
Cool. So if you've been here before, you know that we like to take the first channels that submit on each forum, the gaming and non-gaming forum. But I'm feeling like a troll again this week, and I didn't do that. In fact, I picked
emotional damage.
I picked some channels that I thought were just doing some interesting things that we could all learn from. Sometimes those first channels that submit, we get them a lot of the same advice. So this time we're hoping we can help everybody out with the first channel we are going to look at, which is Foxtomian.
That channel.
That one. And I picked this channel for a very specific reason, Rob. It's because of their channel focus, which I noticed right away. I thought, okay, they labeled themselves as a DIY channel, but they're making things that nobody would make. This is not, in my opinion, a DIY channel in the traditional sense. More of like a DIY comedy channel based on these thumbnails. What are you seeing?
Yeah, this is very high tech DIY, and like there is a I see them mostly on Reddit. It's this person who invents stuff that don't need inventing. I'm not going to say this channel is exactly like that, but they are doing some, what I would say, like highly technical electrical creations, which are intriguing. Having said that, I think one of the most crucial aspects of a channel like this is to communicate the idea very powerfully in the thumbnail. And while we do see clear images of the type of thing that they're building, I'm not sure what any of them do. Like the interesting concoctions, but if the thumbnail can't communicate to me what they do, then I guess I'm less likely to click because I'm not intrigued by I guess the final result of the invention.
Right. There's a big missed opportunity here with the thumbnails, in my opinion, and the titles. And the reason I say that is because you could communicate these videos visually so well because you are doing, like, I can envision what these thumbnails look like if they came from a channel with 1 million subscribers. Because I feel like the topics certainly do. Honk if you love mornings, DIY car horn alarm clock inspired by SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay. So SpongeBob has like this alarm. It's like a big foghorn or whatever. This seems like a thumbnail slam dunk to me, where you do a split screen of SpongeBob being woken up by his alarm clock on one half, and the other half is your alarm clock, but a much more zoomed in picture of it. And even if you need to, like, you know, manipulate the image in a way that makes it look like it's waking you up in the same way as SpongeBob or whatever, but it needs a little more polish all around. And this calls for, I think, either one of two things. Either leveling up your thumbnail game over a long period of time to, you know, Photoshop tutorials, all that fun stuff. And or you could go, you know, on like Upwork or something, find a thumbnail designer, invest a little bit into these thumbnails and get somebody to, you know, take that dream and make it a reality for you, even for one video, just to try it. And then I would take the title and make it a little bit better, because Honk if you love mornings DIY car horn is so long before we get to the part that kind of explains the video. You remade SpongeBob's alarm clock. That's the title to me. I remade SpongeBob's alarm clock in real life. Now it needs a thumbnail that kind of evokes that idea in people's heads when they see it. And you could do that with a lot of these because you're making really interesting gadgets. What you have is a very high tech set of skills, but you don't have maybe like the YouTube vision yet to follow those videos up with the thumbnails and titles they deserve, which is great because that means you are, in my opinion, a like technical creator first rather than a YouTube creator. You know what I mean? You're still catching up on the YouTube side, which is a good place to be because your channel focus is already decided. You're good to go. You have interesting ideas and inventions. Now it's just how do we get these on YouTube to where people can see it and go, oh, that's funny. I need to see how that was done.
The difference will be is currently a potential viewer is spending 3 or 4 seconds reading a title to comprehend a video, whereas the right image will instinctively communicate that idea in like half a second or less. So absolutely, Dan, I think thumbnails here are the missed opportunity. Like, they're not terrible at the moment. They're not overcomplicated, cluttered or whatever. But if you look at the TikTok to Boom Boom, crafting an epic DIY watch speaker, I only realized it's a watch speaker after reading the title and seeing the very top of the, I guess, the speaker component. Like, how could you communicate that? Like, could you include the decibel levels, like some volume coming out, somebody being really annoyed by the sound of a watch in the thumbnail? It's just so much more that can be added to the packaging that's going to make people stop scrolling. And then I think the titles as they are will probably do enough to convince a click. But yeah, really interesting ideas. They have a clear, unique selling point, but the thumbnails is, I guess, they're a weak point of the packaging right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you can nail that, I haven't watched the content. I don't know in terms of the quality of like your intros, your hooks, things like that, where you stand right now, but you could definitely be winning more clicks. You're already getting good views given the size and the amount of videos, like the size of the channel, 61 subscribers, and the amount of videos you've done. You are doing really well, which means you have something here. People are seeing these and going, that's really cool. It's just not enough people are probably stopping the scroll, and that's what we need to get going here.
I can imagine these could translate very well into shorts as well. Oh yeah, they have some shorts, Dan. Are they making many? Yeah, so they have a cross-platform style of content here, which is great. I mean, the shorts would be a really good way to hone your storytelling skills, like compacting down those 6 to 10 minute videos into just like the really cool idea, how it was built, the twist, and so on. But yeah, it's good to see that they're exploring both avenues of content creation.
Yeah. So that was Foxtomian, maybe. And I want to say thank you for submitting your channel. The first gaming channel we're going to look at today was Follow the Leader. They have 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah. All right. Congrats.
Yes. And that's one of the reasons I picked them. Also, your favorite Skyrimer, which means channel focus is there. We are focused on Skyrim. And when I saw some of the things they were doing in Skyrim, I thought, this is kind of cool. They are taking the game and using it as kind of a tool to tell different stories. So how much of Oblivion fits on a floppy disk? Like... That's pretty funny. Even if you don't know what a floppy disk is, you're probably still like a little intrigued. Like, oh, is that some kind of old thing? So that might be enough for you to click anyway. Again, we're seeing view counts that are just, almost there. And I feel like this again was like a call for a thumbnail, like change up. What if it was maybe you holding the floppy disk, even if you're not in the thumbnail, you're blurred out, you're just holding up to the camera, and you put the Oblivion logo on it with like a question mark or something like that, like it would communicate the message, but instead you have half the thumbnail that's kind of like that, and the other half is dark, and it's hard to make out the character from the background. It's just this bad idea. The word idea is covered by the timestamp. So still needing some thumbnail tweaks on this channel as well, but I had to pick it for its just focus and very, very interesting ideas.
Interesting question that needs to be asked here, though, Dan. Skyrim, Oblivion, yes, but their latest video is a departure from that to Rainbow Six Siege. And even though it's a more recent video, it's got as many views as anything else. So that's kind of turning into an outlier. So I'm wondering if this creator has developed a through line which allows them to like almost trampoline from one game to the other. Like they had this quirky idea of like the technical constraints and restrictions of like, how can I fit modern games onto ancient computer technology? I don't know if, so it's kind of like it's subverting video games in weird ways, like calling the enemy team in real life. Again, we'd have to watch the video to understand what that means, but it's promising to see that the creator within a gaming hub is able to move between games quite freely.
Yeah.
Questions that I do want to ask is outputs. Do you think, Dan, just the gravity, the size of the idea means that they can only publish 1 or 2 videos every quarter? Because that seems to be their cadence right now.
Yeah, and this is another like kind of new strategy that I talk about in the video I have coming out on January 1st. If you're a gaming channel, especially, but even if you're not a gaming channel, I always feel like there's something in there for everybody. But it is pretty specific to gaming channels. You're going to want to watch that, especially if you're this channel, because this channel is focusing on one of the strategies that I talk about in this coming video, which is you probably don't want to focus on one game forever. I always say that it's good to start out that way, but what you really want to do these days in gaming, you want to be known for something beyond just, I played Skyrim once and I did a full playthrough on my channel. I'm the Skyrim guy. It's like, well, it's kind of too late to be the Skyrim guy. However, like this channel took Skyrim and did it in a different way. And now they're becoming known for pushing the limits of Skyrim rather than just playing Skyrim once in a while, right? And because they pushed the limits in such a specific way, they were able to jump to Rainbow Six Siege, but with the same kind of shtick they always do, right? That same thing that they're always like known for from their audience that is growing. And it's again, titles, thumbnails will really help them here, but they don't need to stick to Skyrim given the way they're making content.
Speedrunners can jump from video game to video game, and your thought here is pushing the game to its extremes. That's their shtick through line. So yeah, promising. I guess I'm asking a creator, are you committed enough to this idea and your channel to create more content? Because your audience seems to watch when you publish content. I'm just curious, Dan, because I've got 1,000 subscribers, right? If we just confirm that. What's their most popular video? I'm curious if I've had any real outliers on the channel.
Here we go.
Yeah. Can
you beat Skyrim with weight 0, with 0 carry weight? Meaning, if you play Skyrim, you know what that means. You basically can't hold anything. Your character is always over encumbered. You can mod Skyrim in all sorts of fun ways, and so you can create challenges like this. This reminds me of like what Doug does in Skyrim, you know? And if you want inspiration for ideas, titles, thumbnails, I mean, look no further. And he did one recently where if his heart rate goes to a certain point, it spawns dragons. Now he's a computer programmer. He can set this stuff up in his sleep, but it gives you some idea. Like,
he can't set that one up in his sleep, Dan, because the heart rate's not going to be 200 beats per minute if he's asleep. Right. I mean, come on. There's got to be some thought put into this.
It probably took some time. I will say that his resting heart rate is lower than mine, and it bothered me a little bit. I'm like, oh, am I okay? But this is a really entertaining video.
That's a fun question. What is everybody's resting heartbeat in the chat? Do let us know. Mine, apparently, according to my watch, I'm going to measure it right now, Dan, because I think I'm fairly calm. So I'll tell you what my resting heartbeat is in a second.
I don't have my watch on, so I don't know.
But I'm gonna measure it, because usually I'm technically dead according to my watch because it can't pick up my heartbeat. But I have a current heartbeat of 56. Usually it's lower than that. It can be like 49, 52. So apparently I have the heart of an athlete, but I have asthma. So there we go.
Lower than mine was that day. I don't have my watch on right now, so I don't know what it is right now. But okay, so anyway, hopefully you understand my point.
Some people are really stressed watching this live stream. Like 110.
Is my channel out there? This makes sense to me. This video, the thumbnail could be a little better, but it still worked. People understood the concept, and this is what I'm talking about when it's like taking a game and playing it differently. And you're doing what the bigger channels on YouTube are doing, you know? So if you can keep improving your titles, your thumbnails, and keep coming up with these interesting concepts, it's okay that your videos might take 2 to 4 weeks to make, because you're putting a lot of time in on the back end to make sure that they're original and they stand out. So I wouldn't worry too much. I think this channel is on its way.
Word. Let's give him a tick. And then depart from channel audits for just a brief second to do Rob Wilson. Sorry, Don. Rob Wilson's self-indulgent second. Do let us know what video game you are playing right now in the chat, and I will show some of them as I offer that question to Dan to find out what video game he's playing right now in the run-up to Christmas. I guess, are you getting anything for Christmas to play as a video game?
I asked people to not get me anything because I'm over encumbered with games.
Wow.
And I'm trying to get through some older ones. Like, so I never beat Red Dead 2, and with the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, I'm like, yeah, I want to go back and try and like finish Red Dead.
Such a boring game.
So,
but less of that.
I was having fun yesterday playing that. I'm still playing the RuneScape League here and there, but I've slowed down on that. So that's what I'm doing.
Who thinks they're playing Grand Theft Auto 6? Come on. Come on. It's not coming out for
that
another
much
2 years. Yeah.
They think they've like played it because it's just
They've watched 200 hours of the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer.
yeah, they're an expert in the trailer.
I am still playing those 2 games. Horizon Forbidden West. I'm starting to enjoy it more because I've leveled up. I'm able to not just die all of the time and survive big attacks. What I will say is the story is excruciatingly dull. So I don't often do this, Dan, but I'm skipping all of the story. Like where it says skip cutscene, yes, square, yeah. move on. Only like the main story bits that I'm following because it's just such a boring storyline game because there's so much lore. It just gets into too much detail. I
do that with most games now. Like if I've never even seen the story before, I just skip. I don't know what's happened to me, but I just don't care. It's just, I'm sorry.
I mean, with some games such as The Last of Us, like you're gonna listen to every bit of dialogue and it's fantastic, but some games just dull. Like the storytelling is still back in the 1990s, or it thinks, it's too full of itself and thinks it's going to be like the next mega motion picture. And Warcraft Rumble, I've got to be honest, I'm pretty much addicted to it right now. Yeah, try it. Come and find me. I think it's VGJ Felix. I don't know if you can find people by searching names on Warcraft Rumble, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
For a quick tip, by the way, gaming creators in general, now, very popular game, Lego Fortnite. If you don't like Fortnite, that's okay. Do you like survival games? Because it's really not Fortnite in the sense of a battle royale. It's basically Lego Minecraft. And what I'm seeing a lot of the large creators do, just in the space, is they're doing videos I've kind of seen before, but in Minecraft form. If you're looking for some ideas, go check out some of the stuff that's worked really well in the Minecraft community and see if you can do it in Lego Fortnite. That is what's happening right now out there. Something to look at.
That's a knowledge bomb from Dan right there.
Of course, if that's the kind of audience you're building, don't just play Lego Fortnite because it's trending. Do it because you enjoy that kind of thing and your audience already expects you to play games like that.
Mr. After Games is playing Lego Fortnite right now, so that is a knowledge bomb tip for them.
There you go. All right, next channel.
Yeah,
it's the Zaytsevs. How would you say this? The Zaytsevs.
I have no idea. The Zaytsevs.
But you've picked it, so
I know. I picked it based on the interesting channel as opposed to being confident about pronouncing the channel name. So they have 11,000 subscribers, Dan. And if you look at the most popular videos, it feels like they're at a crossroads on their channel because it was built on this transformational content of taking some relic, an old building, and turning it into something modern. And they did that like a year or so ago, and all of those videos perform very, very well. They have that one outlier, the one with 750,000 views. And I'm curious to know if that is still bringing in views on a regular basis. Even if it's 5 views per hour, 10 views per hour, like 200 views a day, that could still be significant. And when people are watching this video, I want to see more from this creator. I guess they're kind of wanting to see the same thing. Now, that's not to say, Dan, if you go back to their most recent videos, that the channel is dying. They're getting, 1,000 views, 2,000 views. So they have a core audience that's turning up on most occasions. They're just, I guess, maybe a little bit frustrated that they've had this past success, but it's not really been followed up recently. I guess the one thing to highlight here is if we look at the second video, which is I tried pulling a massive log and this happened, and you can see how the audience didn't resonate as well with that. And you can probably tell why based on the general ethos of the channel, which is building, maintaining, changing old property. Whereas maybe like a challenge with a car and pulling heavy weights isn't quite the same packaging as what the viewer is used to. I think it's the same with the How I Transformed an Abandoned Garage into a master bedroom. Like, even though it's a transformation of a room as opposed to like an old log cabin, is that enough of a difference to the audience? Or indeed, like even the thumbnail style, like the thumbnail style is just a bright image and a woman on the thumbnail, as opposed to most of the thumbnails, which is more kind of browns, earthy, and a man's on the thumbnail. This is where it'd be really interesting to do A/B thumbnail testing. Hopefully they'll have that tool soon, so that they could try that, especially with that thumbnail, which is quite a departure from the others. But, you know, generally speaking, the foundations are there. The channel's had success in the past. They've got a clear channel focus of this transformational content, but it just seems as if they're in a plateau stage. So do you have any additional thoughts here for the channel?
It seems like, as you pointed out, like the log video, for example, it seems like they are trying a few different things to try and branch out past the log cabin. But it's, I think the most popular video tells a very, very interesting story. And it's difficult. This is one of those things that's difficult to follow up because you don't have cabins from 1780 laying around that you can just keep doing this with, right? Like this got a lot of views because it was unique, you know. And I think that they have to appreciate that their baseline now is obviously going to be lower unless you can keep repeating this success somehow. So that is just something to keep in mind. Some videos are difficult to follow up on, and eventually you'll finish remodeling this log cabin, and then what, you know? And I see that they, like, I bought an abandoned 1800s house. Okay, interesting. Why didn't it do as well? Well, on the one hand, it doesn't look as dilapidated as the cabin did in the thumbnail we saw earlier. So it kind of just looks like a house, especially zoomed out like that. There doesn't seem to be anything about it that is like terrifying. You know, an abandoned mansion sounds intriguing, but it doesn't look like a mansion, at least at that current angle and size, and it doesn't feel abandoned. It feels pretty refreshed. So you have to be like thinking about what attracted people to this video, and what attracts me to it is like the overgrown leaves on the cabin and the darkness that you chose to use, and like the idea that like this is so old and so interesting, like, and then the fact that you follow up with like, you know, you're obviously like doing stuff to the cabin. That's also really interesting. Now I'm following you on a journey. That's not followed up with this video here. And that's just the thing. Like the story being told is just not as intriguing. And I think that's what's missing here. But it's difficult to follow up. Like I said, that was like lightning in a bottle, that first one, or that you know, older video.
Indeed.
I wish I had like better, more actionable advice, but I don't know what you have cooking in the background is the thing. So if it's a lot of transformations of things, look into other channels that are transforming spaces and see what they're doing with their titles and thumbnails. And you might just need to kind of pivot your title thumbnail strategy to be more in line with that, because you're going to meet the audience where they are, rather than trying to take your log cabin audience and get them to watch bathroom renovations. You know what I mean?
I'm curious as to the hook of one of these videos, Dan. So can we try? Should we try? I bought an abandoned 1800s house, and this is what happened. Should we watch the first 10, 15
All right,
seconds?
guys, we're going to do a tour of this beautiful 1801 house. Let's go and check it out.
As Thomas Jefferson, third president in the United States, was sworn in office, this house was constructed on this exquisite piece of land.
It's kind of interesting, right?
Do you think that it kind of just took us off on a bit of a tangent? Like, I'm ready to go into this house and explore more about it and find some funky stuff. But then there was just that ever so slight detour onto George Washington. What was it? The era of
Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. I apologize. Wow, some funky shots here though in the first 20 seconds.
Yeah, they're just kind of doing like drone shots, I guess. And I mean, that's cool to kind of give it historical relevance, I suppose. But it was jarring. Definitely. Like I picked up on it too, where it's like, oh, it's a different voice, and the music changes, the whole vibe of the video changes. And I kind of wish the host would have just kept talking here and then said, like, this house was built when Thomas Jefferson was being sworn in. That's how old it is, you know. It slowed down. It went from high energy to really low energy really quickly. And that's the kind of thing where I'd love to see the retention graph, because I don't know, but it feels like the audience would have been like, oh, this isn't my kind of video, you know, without giving it a chance. I don't know why these boxes are appearing on my screen. But this picture of the house looks a bit older and roughed up. And as I was seeing different shots of it, I'm like, okay, like some of these look better than others. But like I think in the thumbnail, I wanted to see more of a house that looks that old, like the interior, especially. My goodness. So yeah, there's I think some work to do on this channel overall. Thumbnails are great in terms of their like stylistic quality, but the messaging is off, and videos themselves might need a little bit of tweaking in terms of like the way you're approaching storytelling and stuff like that, which is practice. It's not something you can just snap your fingers and be good at overnight. Just something to know.
Word, Dan, word.
All right. Shall we maybe take a pause there and look at some super chats?
Probably a good idea.
See what's going on. So thank you all for your super chats, new members, everything. We'll answer some of your questions. We will not review channels based on super chats, but we will thank you for, your support. VidIQ rocks. As a gaming channel, concentrate on title thumbnail for browse recommended or SEO. Should I change older videos for SEO? Happy holidays. So Grey Ghost, thank you for the question. I addressed this in the January 1st video I was talking about earlier, this exact conundrum. I would say that these days, yes, SEO is like great for certain videos, but for the most part, you saw what we looked at in the game with the gaming channels earlier. They're doing things, they're taking the game and doing interesting things that you're not searching for, things that are just like, when you look at the title thumbnail, you're like, that's a fun idea. I never thought of doing that in Skyrim. I want to go check it out. And browse and recommended is what I would be leaning into for the most part, but not forgetting that if you have advice, if you have actionable tips on a specific thing, then yes, you should title your videos so that people type something into search, your video has the best chance of coming up. We have tools that can help with that, but if you've noticed some of the upgrades we've made on our tools, even they're starting to focus more on giving you titles and thumbnail recommendations that are browse centric first, because browse is kind of like everything's shifted. And we used to talk about SEO a lot, and we've shifted in our own messaging. SEO is just not, the biggest thing anymore.
You may get discovered through search, but try not to stay in search traffic. And the key is that when somebody watches one of your videos, the chances are YouTube will then recommend another one of your videos to that viewer. And so if they've been satisfied for it from a browse perspective, more like, not necessarily for entertainment purposes, but you've left a good taste in their mouth, they'll want to try something else from you. And when the next video appears in home and browse, it's much better to have that kind of casual viewing quality to it, as opposed to it just answering a specific question because somebody searched for it. Because more often than not, you'll get one video out of them which solves a problem, and then you're done. The viewer's moving on to something that entertains them.
Absolutely. So thank you for the question. Best of luck.
Ooh, is the beast cut in here, Dan?
This is not the beast one. This is the tame one. DIY Microbiology says, how do I know which presentation strategy is the best? By the way, why coaching only works in some areas of the world? So our I'm guessing you mean our one-on-one coaching service.
Yeah, I believe so.
I can't remember the exact countries it's in right now, but what was the reasoning for that? I think
it's English speaking.
English speaking is one issue, and it's a new thing too. It's still rolling out. We're still getting it ready. So that would explain that. And then yes, presentation strategy. I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Yeah, me neither. I'm going to interpret it as presentation sounds like you're standing in front of a class, or you are a teacher. And typically YouTube these days is after more of the authentic, real personality. So like even if you watch vidIQ, you see that we're trying to incorporate as much personality, humor, and entertainment in as much as possible, rather than just a dry presentation style. Because if you think back to school, the most memorable teachers weren't just good educators. They had something else about them which inspired and motivated. And that's kind of what you want to look for in, I guess, your microbiology education.
Yeah. I'm skimming comments here. Someone mentioned like education versus entertainment, which is a good point. Like if you're doing microbiology content, it sounds like educational content, which means you would want to be more in line with the different education channels on YouTube in your presentation style versus a Mr. Beast style where it's like, today I hooked up all these microbes to a thing, and then, you know, it's not really going to work. So I would be leaning on, again, like what successful channels in your space are kind of doing, and then like see if there's a version of that for you. Geek something. Thank you for the super chat. Started posting horror gaming videos, but usually I post shooters. Is it okay for the channel to mix up the content?
So what might probably happen is, as we just saw with that example with the restoring dilapidated old buildings, is that even if you go off topic a little bit, like you're pulling logs or you're restoring a bathroom instead of a building, the audience can let the creator know pretty quickly that this is not really what I came to the channel for. And so if you've been delivering horror games for a significant amount of time and building up an audience with that, then yeah, you may find a drop off of your audience, and it's just, are you prepared for that? If you don't have the same through line as we talked about with the first gaming channel that we audited this week. So I guess the question is back to you, creator. Are you okay with an understanding that because you've changed your target audience, your value proposition, some of that audience saying, I'm not into that, I'm moving on, I wish your channel the best of luck, and you kind of trying to find a new audience? Is that something you're comfortable with?
All right. We have Cyborg Prime Games. I usually put chapter marks in my videos. Should I do that on listicles, or will people just jump to the end? I'm personally selective with when I chapter videos. I don't know about you, but it's only when I feel like the information is chapterable and people are going to want to jump around, because I feel like that gives them a good experience. And that's ultimately what I want for them is just a good, positive experience watching my video.
Yeah, people may jump around, but what if they jump to the bit that they really wanted to watch and really found it useful, enjoyable? That's going to leave, again, a good taste in the viewer's mouth. And then when the next video comes up from Cyborg Prime Games, they'll say to themselves, hey, I know that last time when I watched a video, I got exactly what I wanted from it because they used chapters. I'm going to watch this video. It's, you know, we're talking about, swings and roundabouts. We're talking about 1-2% differences. It's just whether you want to include chapters. You probably don't need to include chapters on videos that are less than 5 minutes. So it's entirely optional. Anything over 10 minutes that's of a listicle format, then yeah, maybe you do.
Yeah. I would be careful to not name the chapters. That spoils the list. Like if it's impossible to do, I would literally say like item 1, item 2, item 3, which is less helpful. But like if the names of the chapters are exactly what you're gonna say in that part of the listicle, that could, you know, it just depends on the type of list. Like maybe people want to dig in more, so they see that it's like number 4 is like a specific thing, and they're like, oh, that's what I want to know about, and they jump to it deliberately. So it depends on how deep your listicle is. You know what I mean? Like the content itself, like you can't get it just by reading. You have to watch. You know what I mean?
Viewers are savvy and intelligent and quite mature with the YouTube platform. You watch any video that has a sponsored segment in it, you can see exactly where that viewer has just skipped that bit and jumped, with time chapters or not. So they're going to get what they want from it, or they're going to move on.
Yep. Nick Hine, my videos vary from 3 to 50 minutes. Recently, my shorter videos have been getting significantly fewer impressions. Could it be because the algorithm expects a longer average view duration? So
replace the word algorithm with audience.
Yes.
And then that's kind of the answer, isn't it?
I would say that your longer videos are automatically just getting more watch time, presumably, because they're longer and they have the better chance of getting watch time. Whereas a 3-minute video, someone could watch it in 3 minutes and they're probably not going to watch it again. So it's not going to get 6 minutes of watch time. It's going to get 3 minutes of watch time in total, and that's its maximum potential. So what I've found is that yes, you can post videos of different varying lengths on your channel, but the ones that are longer are going to have the best chance of getting more impressions. That's all I'm trying to say. Because wow, people are watching a 50-minute video for 30 minutes. That's really impressive. I got to share this around more.
it's anecdotal evidence, but what we found is that when we do longer videos, because there's quite a big time commitment from our regular viewer, they'll think, I'm not really sure I want to watch this, or watch it now, maybe bookmark it, or I'm just not interested in it. But usually YouTube eventually finds the right audience. And we tend to get views from those longer videos on suggested traffic, which is really interesting. And there's going to be some experiments along those lines coming up soonish. So stay tuned.
Dad's Gone Live. Been using your advice for 1 year now. Went from 24 subs in October 2022 to
Oh,
18,000.
Preach.
580.
Preach.
You're the holy grail of YouTube.
God.
Thank you so much. Love to hear that. That's amazing progress in 1 year's time. So congrats. That is awesome.
I haven't got the choir meme noise that I could play there.
I don't have to play one either. I have this one.
I should probably add that, shouldn't I? Yeah.
Design Burst, welcome back.
Again.
We know that storytelling is important in script writing, but how can we do it well, especially in our niche and faceless channels? Do you have a guide? Yes. Okay. So we've been focused on this ourselves because we've been talking about watch time. How do you get watch time? You tell a good story. People want to stick around. They want to watch the whole video. Watch a video that we did interviewing Jenny Hoyos.
Oh.
She has really direct storytelling tips. And there's different ways to tell a story, but hers, like her way that she describes is pretty straightforward and could work for, I think, a lot of people. And it's, you know, that's really what it is learning the storytelling structure and figuring out how it's going to work for you and how it makes sense for your content. Become a student of other creators too. Watch other content that's similar to yours and see if they're implementing storytelling and how they're doing it. Because that's, yeah, like there's so many ways. The reason storytelling, when you hear people say that and it sounds vague, like, hey, just do storytelling in your videos. That it's vague because like every person's gonna have a different way of telling a story and every person's gonna have a different type of story they're going to tell. We can't tell you what to do, you know. It kind of has to be, you can get really creative with it is the kind of issue on our end trying to give advice. But the Jenny Hoyos video like goes over a storytelling structure. There's another one that I can't remember off the top of my head called But So, where you're constantly keeping people on the edge of their seat by saying, I did this thing, but blah, blah, blah. So blah, blah, blah. But, you know, and you just keep ping-ponging back between those two things. But she even gave like one that was, I think, 3-pronged. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. So
it was, wasn't it? There was on a walk and it started raining and they went home. But then she turned it into, I was on a walk. But I decided I didn't want to do this walk today. I wanted to go to the park instead. But when I went to the park, it started raining. But I didn't have an umbrella, so I was getting wet. So I needed to rush to the shops. The story kind of went on like that. But it's kind of adding these simple story elements. The thing I would add is for your target audience, the question is, what is their dream? What is their goal? And it may be for your average viewer, it's to have the ideal living experience, the ideal room that makes me feel relaxed, satisfied, or like just reduces stress. Okay. And then the follow-up question to that is, so what will happen to this person if they don't realize this dream? And like they'll be forever miserable in their own house. And so that could be like the basis of how you start your story, the struggle, the conflict, like what's the payoff? How do you resolve that?
Yeah.
Not going to be easy with design content, but that's what we can offer.
Well, with design content, if you're talking about maybe sourcing materials for a build you're doing, that could come with all kinds of challenges. You know, we were going to design this living room, but the Home Depot was out of a certain type of lumber we needed. So we went to Lowe's, you know, and that still sounds like a boring story, but hopefully you kind of get where I'm coming from. So, you know, plug in your own imagination into that structure. And best of luck. It's a really important skill to develop. And again, a lot of you here, you want answers today on how to get subscribers, how to grow your channels. The hardest part of our job is basically having to tell you it's not something you just turn on. There's no secret one thing you can do, because whatever you decide, whatever route you go, it's going to take practice at the end of the day.
You know what I think?
Practice. The storytelling takes practice.
You know what I think someone should do, Dan, because I can't be bothered doing this myself, is to do a compilation of all of the Design Burst super chats and answers. Because it's probably about 2 hours worth of like Q&A there by now. All great questions. We love them every single week.
Yeah, no, really, truly, you're asking really, really important questions. Jackie O Log says, I get to play around with my thumbnail daily, checking which works. Okay, I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
Okay, I get 1K impressions every day, but my last video gave me 4,000 impressions at day 1. I managed to fix it. Fix it? But I didn't get any more impressions now. So wait, more impressions is good. What did you fix?
I don't understand the question. I do apologize.
Yeah, really sorry that we're not really getting... If you had 4,000 impressions when you normally get 1,000, that's a good thing. If you change the thumbnail and you got less, that would explain why that happened. Because people were resonating with the previous packaging and you changed it. That's the best way I can interpret this. I don't think that's what they're saying, but it's difficult. So I apologize for that.
Me too.
Elementality NJ says, how important are channel banners in the grand scheme of things, and what do you think should be displayed on one? Socials, text, image only? Pull up ours here.
Let's be honest. Channel banners aren't that important, but they are permanent. So I think when you've got a lot of stuff out of the way in terms of making videos, and you've kind of got a format down there, you may want to, instead of making your next video, spend that time building out your channel. If like the average video takes 3 to 5 hours, like I'm not saying you spend too much longer on it than that. Because how many people visit a channel page? Not sure. However, the subscribe button on your channel page will be one of the biggest deliverers of subscribers because it's always there. It's the same button for years. So the channel banner, when you do eventually make it, should be relatively clean and simple like a thumbnail and deliver a value proposition of some kind. We're still playing about with ours. At the moment, it's transform your passion into YouTube presence. The idea of you've got something that you're really in love with and you want to share that message with an audience and build that audience. You know, in the past, it's been creator obsessed YouTube education. I still kind of like that one, but it felt a bit dry. So this is where we're at right now. Try and keep it fairly succinct, you know, like 10 words or less. Because hopefully, by you seeing this channel banner now and the fact that I'm holding this gold play button, you get our mission immediately, which is to educate YouTube creators.
Yeah, I've always said like the channel banner, like if of all the things to focus on, that's probably not what's holding back your content. However, branding is important, especially as you grow as a creator and you're looking to get maybe sponsors on your channel and be taken more seriously. So these things are important, but they're not number one in my opinion. But that also could be a you know, it takes you a little while to get one set up, but it communicates, as Rob said, a clear message that is in line with what you do on your channel.
It is your North Star. It's your guiding principle. And that can take a long time to really figure out. But, you know, once it's there, like, hopefully every video we make and the live streams that we do, it's all guided towards this principle.
Right. If someone bothers to come to your channel to learn more, I think you do want this here. And you want it to be clear. Jamming your socials on it doesn't do anything for them. What is your channel about? Like, why are people here? I can get your socials from the about section. I don't need to be shown a link to Instagram or a picture of a link to Instagram. It doesn't do anything for me. They've moved all the links into here now anyway. So, you know, focus on like what the thumbnail for your channel. What if we're in an elevator? What's the elevator pitch? What do you do on YouTube? What should I watch?
Well, we're on the channel page, Dan. Do you think the changes YouTube have made in the last like couple of months, you know, kind of subtle, they haven't really announced them? Are you cool with them? I'm all right with them.
I am. I like this especially because all these buttons got stretched out in a really ridiculous way. The larger your channel grows, the more of these buttons you end up accumulating. And you had to scroll on certain browser sizes, and it's silly. I actually like the new about section now that I understand where it is. I think this looks cleaner, and you know, I like the only one link being shown. Sometimes it can look a bit janky if it's like your Discord.
Yeah, but just forcing us to show the link is a bit annoying.
Yeah. However, I get for security reasons, you probably want that anyway. Yeah. Like if it says Discord server, but it goes somewhere completely different, like because you can put whatever you want there, like that's probably not fun. But yeah, I actually like this.
And then the For You carousel, I do need to make a video about this. It does need a little bit of tweaking. But I'd be interested to, well, you can't really tell me in a live stream, but like if you went to the vidIQ page now, you'll probably see different videos to us. which will be curious and interesting.
Let us know if they are, in fact, for you, if you actually want to see those videos.
Yeah.
We'll go to
That's
our
a
next
good
channel.
point.
We'll come back to supers in a bit.
All right, Dan. All right. I'll turn off the music.
Card.
Fair point. Fair point.
I chose this channel because instant channel focus, noticed it right away. They're unboxing Pokemon cards, Pokemon collectibles.
Yep.
And I thought there was some good advice we could give them on their packaging. Ultimately, this is a very competitive space, but
It is.
the good news with that is Pokemon Card Haul. I mean, you're not the only one doing this, and therefore you can start to look at other channels that are doing it and try to get a sense of like, wow, what's going on in these channels? How can I do similar content? By the way, storytelling, I can imagine these videos here. I'm not clicking on them, but imagine clicking on one and you hear a person's voice in the background and they're talking about going to the store, like they had to find the store online. Oh my God, the store says they have the thing I'm looking for, so I drove there. But when I got in, they didn't have it. However, when I went to the shelf, I found this. Like, you can just imagine storytelling like from these videos based on the shots I'm seeing. Like, they're looking at shelves and stuff. I'm sure they're talking about, I checked out a Pokemon card. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all, it's cool. And that's one reason I love shorts, because even if you don't like making shorts, they're great for learning how to tell a quick story.
He's just saying that because one of his shorts is about to get 1 million views again. Dan just does this every month. I'm so jealous.
Yeah. But that's what the first thing I'd recommend to this channel is don't be afraid to like look at what these channels are doing and start to, get inspiration from their titles, their thumbnails. The last time I made the search, I didn't see this channel come up, so this person's kind of started to break through. I don't know how long they've been around, but they've never popped up in my search.
Whoa, what happened to Dan there? Oh my goodness. Oh wow. I think.
Sorry, I hit the back
Did we lose
button.
him on the internet? Oh God, that scared me.
I hit the back button, but my cursor was on this page.
I thought your internet had gone then, Dan. And I thought, oh, we're gonna have to take over.
Sorry. I was on a roll too. Actually, I was babbling. Here, you take over for this one.
All right, let's go back to the channel itself and give some thumbnail critiquing here, because the obvious hero of card collecting is the card itself, the rarity of it, the value of it, the uniqueness of it. And I'm afraid Dan would have to use a magnifying glass extension if he had it.
I don't.
Maybe you don't have it on this one. To see some of these cards, especially like in the opening new Pokemon Paradox Rift ETB, the one on the far right. I've got to be honest, the one on the left-hand side, if you just mouse up again, that looks like an Ordnance Survey map to me. People probably don't know what an Ordnance Survey map is if
You're
they're not in the
making
UK. It's like the official map makers in the UK. It's called Ordnance Survey. But yeah, it looks like a map. And then on the one on the right-hand side, looks like a Christmas ornament, because the packaging is not really zoomed in and really sharp and really tight. I get the idea that you're doing a versus comparison, but I think there's too much emphasis really played on the versus aspect of this. I like the idea of splitting up the image in two, but it just doesn't have that impact. Buying a Pokemon 151 binder, this is an issue of whereby the light is reflecting off the card so much that I can barely pick out the image and I can't see any of the text. I mean, you're probably not trying to pick out the text on a thumbnail, but I don't even know what card that is. I can see that you're trying to maybe slot it into the perfect spot in a binder. But yeah, I think there's just a missed opportunities with the thumbnails here, Dan. It is very early on in their journey. They already have an impressive number of subscribers. I think it was 350. And, excuse me, it looks like they'll have some shorts. So I'm guessing one of their shorts has maybe gone a little viral. So that's a really consistent performance. Like, even those non-thumbnails are like better images than the thumbnails on the long-form content.
Yeah.
So it looks as if they're starting to nail down the short side of this, but the packaging on the long-form videos just needs a little bit of work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool that you have just, with this small handful of videos, 367 subscribers, and they're getting views too. I know it's difficult to get people from shorts to longs. That's been like a complaint a lot of people have, but it just is what it is. You're still the channel focus is there. You're staying focused in both categories, and people are watching. I think the building the Pokemon card binder is a good video in the sense that like even if the thumbnail isn't like perfect, it's still helping people, and people are finding it. And again, this is why I was encouraging you to go and do some searches, because this isn't necessarily a binder, but it's about a collection. And look how impressive it looks. We've been complaining that, oh, it's too zoomed out. Well, this is zoomed out deliberately. You know, this is like trying to show the scale of this person's collection. And in that sense, that's like a good thing to do. And then you have this opposite effect where we've really zoomed in on the cards and the picture's really sharp.
Shock and awe.
Yeah, they've gone out of their way to try and like make it clear to see what the heck they're getting and where they got it from. All that stuff very relevant to the viewer.
I have one more critique. This latest thumbnail, Dan, I think this is an example of the creator trying to be too clever for just a broad audience. Yeah. This is the type of thing that you can kind of build within the video itself. But this Pokemon boxes bananas, it's just a bit too cliched without any meaning and impact. Like, I would be much more interested in you teasing me the why of this is bananas. Whether it's because there are Pokemons that morph into bananas. I don't know if that's true. I've never watched Pokemon. That could be complete baloney. But
they have a Pokemon that's just a bag of trash. So very well could be a Pokemon that is a banana.
Okay. But yeah, this kind of...
it's called Trubbish.
This statement doesn't give me enough why to be interested. But by all means, you could play that joke once you're in a video. Like, this Pokemon box is bananas. Okay, and we're going to move on to another Pokemon box, which is peaches. But this one's pears. And then people are starting to think, what? I like these metaphors, but just not in the packaging itself. Because the creator just has, the viewer has confusion more than intrigue, I would guess. Banana chew, I chew you.
Just want to thank CardCatchQuest for submitting. I mean, you're doing really good work. I think it's just a matter of, again, like a lot of these channels they were looking at as packaging, but we're trying to give some very specific tips as to why we're saying that, because it could be the biggest thing holding you back. But later we are going to look at some videos themselves to see what else we can do for your hooks and things like that. We'll tell you how that works in a bit. Let's go to the next thing, Rob. I think we're ready to do this.
All right. So if you are part of, I don't know, I can't say like the vidIQ Nation, because when you think about it, Dan, how do you get community posts to appear? Like, you know, you join the Discord group, you join the Facebook group, but does subscribing mean that you get more community posts? I don't know. I don't know if it does. So if you saw this community post, you had the opportunity to win a channel audit. And we had many submissions, over 300 of them. And Dan, I just thought I'd show you some of the highlights here. Basically, this image is going to appear in a video soon, and one of our editors decided to AI me, and this was the result. I think it's fantastic, and I want to know what your thoughts were in terms of captions. So Doug Houston said, "There's a reason Rob wears blue glasses, so people don't get him confused with Nick Nimmin. Just search for Nick Nimmin, and you may see what he's talking about." What about this one, Dan?
When you ask AI to draw your portrait and they generate a microphone.
Yeah. Good microphone. What microphone do we think this is?
I think that's a literal blue Yeti.
Little blue Yeti, yeah.
Literal blue Yeti.
Toddler ready. The guy in the blue glasses has 2024 YouTube vision. Yeah, that's so true. Don't miss this one, as it gives us perspective through a clear lens. Interestingly enough, my eyesight is just deteriorating so much. If you watch Rob Wilson through the ages on vidIQ, you will see how my vision is changing from no glasses to normal glasses to stupid glasses to now really going in with stupid glasses and having multiple stupid glasses, which are all going to appear in future videos. What do we got next, Dan?
The look when you're turned into a Netflix anime adaptation.
Yeah. I can see that. Just Josh and podcast using a Blue Yeti mic as a shaver. Yeah,
it does. It does invoke that shaver.
What about this one, Dan?
Plot twister going faceless.
Hashtag irony. Hashtag irony. That's all I'm going to say for that one. Zesty Sloth Productions. The surprising hobby of brains from Thunderbirds revealed. Now, you may need to be of a certain vintage to understand that one, but if you search for brains from Thunderbirds, you'll see where that one was coming from. This one, Dan?
Due to inflation, Chewbacca can only afford half a wax.
Very good, very good. But the winner was Michelle Noir Studios. Because it was a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I've got the mic. Now, what's your vidIQ? What is your vidIQ in the comments below? Let us know right now. That's it. Continue engagement. And that is a winner. I forgot to announce that on the community tab, Dan, so I don't know if they're actually going to be seeing this channel audit, but I'll let them know after the live stream. It's certainly a channel worth auditing because they are a music cover creator of, I think, songs and music that are not natively English. So they're doing English covers of popular anime with varying amounts of success. Some videos have thousands of views, some have hundreds of views. I'm not up to date with all of the animes that are out there, so I don't know if it's simply a case of cover versions from certain animes perform better than others, or it's like the popularity of the songs that is a key contributor here. But I'd say that the thumbnails themselves are fairly simple and striking. I'm wondering if it is enough to just add the word English on the thumbnails to indicate that it's a music cover, or maybe it possibly needs like a musical note or something to just again have that clear indication. It's not a translation of a clip. It is an actual music cover from these animes. Those are my thoughts to kick this one off, Dan.
That's a really good observation because I was looking at this for a bit. And I'm like, okay, if I was doing a channel like this, which I could never, what would I do to level it up a bit? And I think that's a good call out because the problem is I don't know these words under the word English. So maybe it's obvious to the viewers of this type of content that this is indeed a song. But I would imagine if they're anything like me, but they understand a little bit of anime, maybe they think that you are just either dubbing the show or you're giving like a review of an episode or something like that. Because the thumbnails don't do anything to tell me that there's a person that's going to be singing. And so it could be a matter, maybe you've tested this before, but putting your face in the thumbnail, like showing you singing or something like that, just something like Rob said to make it clear that this is like a music video. It hasn't stopped you. I mean, you're getting in some cases thousands of views, a lot of subscribers, so it's not necessarily the case of like no one gets it. People are reading the titles and they're clicking on the videos, but I think the thumbnails are again a place to like level up a bit.
And if you click on one of the videos, and I think there was one, at least one that I looked at, the third video or the first one, and just mute it. There are some examples where I think this is just the captions on screen with the singing in the background that presumably, Dan, you can hear. But there are other videos where, there's some effort being put into the edit here in I would say a transformational way. So I don't know what the copyright scenario is here. Presumably it's the shared copyright one where, because it's a cover, some of the revenue is going to the owner of the original song and some of the revenue is going to the creator. But they've not hit 1,000 subscribers yet, so that's not something that they can really address. So there's kind of like a cool, unique style here. Like this is very visually interesting. But then the third one, Dan, I think this was like a live version of them singing the tune and putting some B-roll to it. So it is clear that this creator is not just doing the cover. They are adding visual transformation as well, which is like great effort. There's clearly a huge passion and love for the topic that they're covering. And I want to give the creator, big credit for that.
It's there. Yeah, I would say this is like dipping into even more transformation of the content too. If there is a concern about copyright, that's one way to help is to like really play a guitar, be on camera. All that stuff looks really, really cool. And I think as far as music channels go, this is a lesson, a rare lesson from us when it comes to music channels, is like focusing on a specific audience. That is one thing. Like when it comes to music, people have what, they like what they like. And this person is niched down in a way that, they can capture a specific audience. I would say also, if there is a show or a movie that's trending, in this particular category, I would be trying to jump on covers, as quickly as you can. I don't know how old some of these songs are, how old the shows are.
Fair point.
But even if like an older show makes it onto Netflix or something and suddenly has a resurgence in popularity, like make sure you're staying in tune with everything going on in the community so that your videos can be a little more timely and they can get like a nice initial surge in views because everyone is thinking about this particular show right now.
Yeah, great point.
So I have a winner to share as well. You did a community tab post.
Yeah.
Well, Victoria, our community manager, was on Facebook and did a competition of her own. There's actually 2 different channels that won. We're going to focus on one this week and hopefully remember to focus on the other one next week. That's the plan.
Victoria, can you just remind me next week that I need to cover per chatter?
So, Rob, it's the second one here that we're looking at today.
So, I assume this is Russian, the name. So, Russian person, I can't pronounce that name. I'm not going to try and butcher it and offend this person. But Russian person or Russian-speaking person won the story by turning the emojis into a following story that sounds a little bit like this. Ever heard of Schrodinger's cat? A YouTube video is quite similar to that. When you're making it on your computer, you think it's going to the moon, but it usually makes you feel dizzy and it doesn't gain much likes. All it takes is for one viewer to hit play and for them to enjoy it. So it can explode in views and take over the world. And that was a little YouTube story via the medium of emojis.
And that was from the channel Reviewing History.
Rewriting history.
Sorry, Rewriting History. They have 5,000 subscribers plus 66 videos. And, their latest video is 10,000 views.
All right, yeah, let's scroll to the top. First of all, right to the top, channel banner. So, we were talking about like value proposition, putting a what if on history. So if you're familiar with how Marvel did this, like changing the universe, so to speak, with Captain Carter and other other stuff. I'm saying this, I didn't actually watch the What If series, but I'm aware of it. Great idea. And yeah, it looks as if they've got an outlier. No, actually, Dan, the video from 9 days ago, the Venezuelan one, has also got a ton of views as well, like 16,000, 15,000. Oh my goodness. These are incredible views for a channel of this size. So the through line here is history, but with a twist, like subverting what happened in history.
It kind of means they can do any part of history from any region, as long as the story is one that people are familiar with. There's obviously a lot of different historical events out there, and some are more recognizable than others. So what if Turkey lost the Turkish War of Independence? And I imagine the content is going to be very well researched and informative, because you could probably piece together what might have happened in the event that things didn't go a certain way, just throughout all these videos.
You can also see just from the thumbnails as well, there's a bit of cheekiness to them. I mean, already that there's going to be curiosity with the what if aspect of it. But we're seeing like the classic, if you just scroll up, the boyfriend admiring other woman while girlfriend stares just a little bit further up. What if Italy joined allies in World War II? There's a cheekiness there. And I think just like the bulging eyes on some of these, like the red laser beam eyes. There's going to be fun and entertainment within these. And it does make me want us to watch like the first 10 to 15 seconds of one of these. Do we dare risk it?
Which one?
What if Napoleon took over Europe? Let's do that one.
Let's see. What if, where?
That's middle right.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna have to put the sound on, Dan.
Huh?
Rewind it. I can't hear it.
You can't hear it.
Just play it again.
Oh, I'm not sharing sound.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, one sec. No, I did want to have that on. Sorry, everybody.
No worries.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Napoleon Bonaparte, one of history's greatest army generals, went from ruling all of Europe to a tiny island in the Mediterranean and then to an even smaller island in the Atlantic. How did this happen and what if all of that changed? I researched many videos on this topic and I believe I have the most unique scenario with a twist at the end that you wouldn't expect.
All right. Pause. So in the first 20 seconds, he raises a question. He introduces this famous person in history. He adds kind of credibility. He's got to prove this as throughout the video. Like, I did a lot of research into this, so he's shown that you spent time about this. And I feel as if the graphics are already kind of indicating the level of detail it's going to go into. And then, Dan, there's the but. There's a twist. Yeah. And so that's where the story begins. And I think it's a really intriguing start to this video. And I can see why people are kind of hooked in. It's probably getting good audience retention in these videos.
Yeah. Especially like certain topics are going to appeal to different audiences. And you will have these fluctuations in views based on the story that you're covering. I wouldn't worry about that too much because it's kind of in line with your channel. Each one of these is an opportunity to bring in all these new people. And then even if it's a topic that they are not as familiar with and may not click on, they might click on the next one that you do because they're like, I don't really care about this one, but this one is more, I've actually heard about that or whatever. I remember that conflict and I want to know more. So
what's the most popular videos?
Yeah, let's see. If Finland won the Winter War.
Yeah, you see, I'm wondering if they should be a little more ambitious with their ideas so they have a larger, total addressable market. And what I mean by that is, what if Venezuela invaded Guyana today? So I feel as if that is reducing what we might call a total addressable market of people interested in Venezuela, Guyana, and the beef between the two. Because I don't know what it is. However, what if you had a video that was simply titled, What if Germany won World War II? Like, pretty much anybody who's gone through high school education knows the general conflict there of World War II and can understand the implications and the potential story to be told there. Because as you kind of said, Dan, they're picking into more detailed stories. Could there be that one just big epic discoverable video that brings them in? Like alternative world future, I can see how that has a broader appeal.
Right.
And then what if the Allies didn't do appeasement in World War II? That is linked to one of the greater conflicts and one of the big stories in that conflict. So I just think they're almost going too detailed in some of these for big audience capture right now.
I completely agree. It's
Thanks.
Some videos are going to take off more than others. But hey, this is really cool.
Yeah.
We hope this was of some help to you, but thank you so much for being a part of our community. And let's see. I want to get back to super chats, but before we do,
all right.
There is something I want to show everybody. Now, this is a feature we've had for a bit, and we don't talk about it a whole lot, but you guys might not know this. We have a new-ish tool. It's the vidIQ stats page. The way you find it is you go to vidIQ.com and just click on top YouTube channels. And you can search for a lot of channels. They do need to be past a certain point in their YouTube journey in terms of subscribers, but I can't remember that number off the top of my head. However, their channels could show up in here, and you can start to get some stats on what they're up to. So we joined in February of 2013. Here's our location. They think the category is gaming, which is my fault.
Dan, stop making gaming videos.
How many videos we have, how many subscribers we currently have, our overall score, and of course, you can get all kinds of like daily performance, estimated earnings, our latest videos, and then you got your animated graphs here of views gained. Everything's going up and to the right. Love to see that. Subscriber gain, pretty consistent. And let's see. I was trying to. What else should I click on here? Channel description. Our ranking. This is absolutely free. This is something that you can check out.
100% free, yeah.
Yep. As much as you want. by hitting the vidIQ. What's a channel? We can always look at the classic here.
Mr. Beast.
You know,
He's got 218 million subscribers now. Jeez.
daily
50
performance.
million views a day, if not more.
That is wild. Latest published videos. Looks like there was a short. Could you walk up a skyscraper? Monthly gain video views. It's just like going up so.
So what was
sharply.
that in October? How many views?
So
In a month
October.
or what? 23.
Huh?
Scroll over. The last one.
This one?
No.
What do you mean?
October 2023, Dan. How many views did they get? You're on 22.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to compare 1 year of gaining views.
2.5 billion views
Okay.
in October 23.
Look at the growth is just mental.
Insane.
So check out the vidIQ stats page for yourself, vidIQ.com. Click on top YouTube channels. Try some of our AI tools as well. A lot of these you can use for free. But there you go. That's just a quick plug for us. Let's check out some supers. Now, Rob, I accidentally tabbed out, so I lost a whole bunch of them.
Oh, dear.
So the latest one I have is from Luke Silva. That's the oldest one I have, I should say. Do you want to pick up where we left off?
So, Elementality. Luke Silva. Hang on. Where's the Luke Silva one? Oh, I see. Right, I'm with you. Right, so I've still got them.
Yeah.
But you lost them, right? That makes sense. Okay. How important our channel? Right, so we asked that one. We did that one. I'm with you. I comprehend now. So the next one was Palette Fortress. YouTube automatically changed our video restrictions to set to made for kids. Will that affect our channel growth? They don't allow us to change it back. So I guess the short answer to this is yes. It will, because it's going to be discovered by a different audience, and you don't have all of the community tools that you had previously, which was comments. Can you use a community tab down with a?
I don't know.
I'm not sure if you do. Maybe it's just
interesting.
It's just video limited rather than channel limited. So I guess we don't know what your content is, so we don't know whether you were incorrectly labeling your content as not made for kids, and YouTube has decided that is the case.
I think this channel, if I remember correctly, they have like toys, activities, things like that, and their kids are kind of like testing them out. It was something like that. I kind of remember looking at this channel before.
Vaguely remember, yeah.
So it makes sense as to why it got put on YouTube Kids. Now, if it's showing up on the YouTube Kids app and you feel like the audience is right for that content, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. But yes, it does diminish certain opportunities. Like if you lose your comments, if you can't run ads, things like that, I can see why that would be a little frustrating, but that doesn't mean you can't also keep doing YouTube, build an audience, things like that are still happening in the background, as long as that content is in fact showing up on YouTube Kids. So this is like I think the growth isn't necessarily like the problem. It's like, what opportunities are you losing? Because it does turn off certain features that you cannot turn back on.
And hey, this may be a case of as you grow up and your audience grows up, you may start a new channel which is directed to that older, mature audience. So I try not to see this as a setback. I would say the positive is that there's probably so much data that YouTube has about your channel that it thinks it can correctly categorize it, which means that you have like a committed and dedicated audience. But yeah, we don't have all of the details on that one. As always, it's a little difficult to answer fairly. Cordem Cowboy, just found your channel and they're at 6,700 subs. I'll benchmark this date. So, God, I'm starting to feel nervous about this already. And see how my channel changes as I follow your videos. Well done, gentlemen.
You should do that.
Okay.
I saw a video today, Rob, when I was on the vidIQ account, and it might be in our history somewhere, but somebody was looking at our tools, and they were telling this person that they would be at a certain view threshold. Like they set a goal for themselves. They'd be at a certain view threshold by May of next year. And they're like, that's not soon enough. And they're challenging themselves to try and beat that. And I think that's like it's a healthy way to look at it. It's like, okay, if I keep on this current trajectory, this is what it's predicting that's going to happen to my channel. I want that sooner for myself. And so they're kind of like kicking themselves into high gear on learning as much as they can. And I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, best of luck to COD M Cowboy.
Bonsai for Affanger Holger aus der Steiermark. I think I've pronounced that channel name before. It's been a long time. So here is your German lesson. Ich habe dich schon über 5,000 Abonnenten. Thanks from Straya.
So they.
I hope I've said something completely clean there.
Yeah, that could be a trap. I think they just hit 5,000 subscribers. That's what I'm going to say. I have no idea.
Captain Meatball, oddly specific question. Would it be in bad taste to make challenge runs where I try to beat games with only my lazy eye?
I think if you have a lazy eye, and you're not pretending like you have a lazy eye, that's the difference, right? If you pretend to have something that a subset of people have, that could be offensive.
It is a physical challenge that you yourself have, and so if you can turn it into a positive, as you ask the question, I think Dan and I are saying, yeah, we think this is on the right side of taste for the audience.
I don't have a lazy eye. It's hard for me to relate. So maybe look into the community and see what they might have to say. I can't speak for
Kavlogs 25 with maybe a super sticky there. StreamYard doesn't always communicate properly what they are if there's nothing in the message itself. Wade's Outdoor Adventures. Advice on being less awkward on camera. I enjoy your content. I have fun, though I don't think the fun comes through in my videos. I'd say, Dan, both you and I still have these imposter syndromes and doubts of our own on-camera presence. How do we answer that?
My answer's always been very cliche. It's practice, and being self-aware of that, whether or not people agree with you. If you feel like you still could use improvement there, that is the first step, is just being like, all right, like I'm gonna make an effort here, what can I do? And it is just making more videos and saying, like, watching them back and going, I feel like I talk a little quiet, or I feel like I have this emotion. I know I was feeling a certain emotion here, but my face does not communicate it at all. Maybe talk in front of a mirror. It is like The Sims, like, putting the sim in front of a mirror and having them practice charisma. Like that wasn't just something that they made up. It's like, no, people can talk in front of mirrors and try and like watch themselves speak and go, okay, like I didn't realize my face looked like that when I was trying to look excited, but I look bored. Why is that? It's practice. It's really like truly what it is.
Oh, did anyone hear that?
I did.
That was my Steam Deck just unplugging itself and then plugging itself back in. Okay, so remember this message. Okay, so COD M Cowboy. How's this message for you? Luke Silver, you guys got me to almost 1 million subs.
Congrats.
Wow, incredible. I need to kind of just look at this in the background. Dan, that brings us up to speed with a super chat, so you can now take over, right?
Yes, I can. So Nick Hines says, I first applied for audit at 120 subs. Now I have 620. Seems like it's working even without actual auditing.
Yeah,
I love to hear that.
Right answer.
I don't remember looking at Luke Silva's channel myself. And this is a channel that's just told us, like, following our advice, they feel like we've helped them reach 1 million. I would say, Luke, you're doing the majority of the work there. So congratulations to you. And yeah, I think this is awesome, because that's what we try and communicate to everybody. Like, there's a lot of things, maybe we're not looking at your specific channel, but there's a lot of crossover in the advice we give. Not that YouTube is something that where one formula works for everybody, but there's always something you can do to improve your content that someone else gets, our take on. And you're like, oh, I'm doing that myself. It takes a little bit of self-awareness. Pulling your channel up on another screen can help. Nick, congrats to you.
It looks like Luke goes onto the streets of London and sings cover versions and songs, but then invites people onto the stage with him, but like on the street and like doing duets and things. And yeah, getting tens of thousands of views, sometimes millions of views. So
that's awesome.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
what service do you guys use to talk and watch videos together? I can't get Discord to work, and I want to do reactions with friends. StreamYard is what we use.
Yeah.
But don't tab out of it while you're trying to get super chats because they'll all be erased.
Yeah.
Captain Meatball says, yes, it was a legit lazy eye. So yeah, if that's the case, you know, that's you being you. And I think that's totally acceptable myself. But again, I can't relate to that. So you don't want to just take my word for it. Red Fox, thank you for the super. Appreciate you. Creatoprop investing. You guys are giving some great information. When will the AB thumbnails roll out to the average YouTube creator? Boy, I would love to know that. What did that poll say, by the way?
Dan would like it for some of the work he's on. I will commit to beginning of Q2 2024. So I reckon everybody should have it by April, May time. Don't quote me on that, even though I've just said something that you can quote me on. I'm astonished we got it at the vidIQ channel before 2024.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have it. Keep in mind, by the way, this tool also adds a little bit of confusion to the sauce because you can only test thumbnails, and it puts you in a place where you're like, okay, I'll make 3 thumbnails for this video. It will see which one does better. But then you're like, okay, this one won out, but not by much. What if I made 2 other thumbnails and took the winner thumbnail and had those compete? And you could get lost in forever in doing this endless loop of trying to find the best thumbnail for a video. And meanwhile, you're not making new videos. Like, it does create even more analytical intrigue, but that intrigue can lead to a lot of like analysis paralysis too. So when you get this tool, just use it responsibly because it can create other questions and anxieties and stuff. That's like my personal experience with it on the vidIQ channel. So it's like a really good tool, but it's also like, oh gosh, I have too much power right now. Red Fox says, I'm a talking red fox. Feed me. Someone help us out there. It'd be great.
What do foxes eat?
I don't know.
Roadkill, I guess. Mice. Anything they can get their teeth on.
Roadkill. Does anyone have a truck driving channel that help out? What does it take to make a short viral instantly?
Jenny Hoyas video.
Yeah, you should definitely check out some of our shorts that like go to most popular on our channel. We're gonna pat ourselves on the back here. And
Dan can. Dan's the man when it comes to shorts.
It's really about watching a lot of shorts and listening to the first things they say and trying to think to yourself, oh, why did I stop scrolling on this one? Why is this one so interesting to me compared to the 7 I just scrolled past? You know, that's what I did to try and get better at shorts is I tried to watch people who've mastered the craft and take notes, literally take notes on what they were doing that got me interested. And storytelling, obviously, huge factor there. Watch some shorts, become a student of YouTube shorts. Nothing goes viral instantly. Our shorts with 1 million views didn't happen instantly, but they certainly picked up steam, and you notice right away when YouTube starts really pushing it out there. You're like, oh shoot, and you know, it can happen. It can happen to you.
According to a poll we did down in a live stream, around about a quarter of people now have the AB thumbnail testing tool. So that's again more than I thought at this stage in the rollout.
For those of you who said, what's that? I will show you real quick before we go on to more channels.
Ooh,
if we pop into here and we go into our analytics.
Oh, the test is complete on this one now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We go to reach. Right. So we had 3 different thumbnails we were testing for this video. Maybe you saw one of them. And what it does, it takes about 12 hours to run this test and get as much data as possible. And then it tells you out of the 3, and you could do this with 2 if you want, which one got the most clicks. And then automatically YouTube will make that the main thumbnail everybody sees.
The interesting thing here, of course, is that we interviewed Lyndon from Amplify Views. And so we tried 2 with me on, some subtle changes in the background, like with graph, without graph icon, but then like a different face. And as we kind of predicted, and this is probably the regular viewers not seeing my face or Dan's face on the thumbnail, they were kind of like, oh, who's this? I'm not going to click on this. And there's a 10% difference in watch time share there. So, you know, we kind of proving what we already know in one sense, which is interesting. But what would we do next? We'd probably take the winning thumbnail and then have one where it's another version of my face, or like just a different style, and we can get more granular until we almost find like the perfect thumbnail to use going forward.
But you can't do this with titles. So sometimes if you have a thumbnail and a title combo that have to go together, you can't do that. You have to have one title that you feel speaks to all 3 thumbnails.
And since we're here, Dan, if you just go back and go to the video that we made about this tool, where we actually kind of were testing the audience. So we were saying, like, now obviously these are very similar in amounts, and we would expect that, but it's still a little bit different. Like the me shushing one isn't as popular, or maybe it's a color C. I don't know.
But like colors.
What I found was interesting was when people were answering the question, like, which thumbnail did you see? A lot of people were engaging. Like, this has had way more comments than we would usually get on a video. But a lot of people were also saying, I don't look at the thumbnail. I just know it's from vidIQ and I click anyway. And just seeing that comment in some of the from the community was really interesting.
So what happens when it settles on one? What are you going to do?
So it did, and so I just had to redo the test. I just had to repost them all. So like, I'm just going to have to do this to the end of time.
Don't do that. Now it'll be interesting to see if another one wins out. Because I think
I think A was winning before. I think A won the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, another problem is because it's still in beta. It doesn't show us the previous test, so I can't remember which one won last time.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we are going to pivot here a little bit. We're going to now take a look at your channels. You've been submitting on the forums down below, and now your channel could have a chance to pop up here on the screen through this.
Who just got an advert because I pressed the button? Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, so yes, this is the CLAAAW. It's going to randomly select your channels. Now, we have 505 responses on the non-gaming form. We have 406 responses on the gaming form. These forms are reset every week. So if you submitted last week, you will need to submit again this week, but you can only submit once other than that. So we have 571 responses. Why don't we go ahead and update the CLAAAW to 571?
I think it's fair to say, Dan, that we get around about 1,000 submissions a week. We've had 50,000 channel submissions this year.
Wow.
Probably. When you think about that, wow. And we've audited about 1% of them.
So we have the channel. We go into YouTube. We paste the channel. And we see it's Creatoprop investing. Now, Rob.
Minimalist lifestyle. All right.
What we're going to do is something we've been playing around with a little bit.
All right. Yeah.
We're going to play a little game with these channels. We might get through a lot more channels this way, but we might skip a lot of channels as a result because we're going to put you through 4 trials if your channel comes up. All right. And the first trial you need to pass before we continue is channel focus. Can Rob and I look at your channel and immediately understand what the heck it's about? I'd say yeah.
So it's kind of a yes with a caveat because it advertises itself on a channel banner as minimalist lifestyle, but this is more like camper, living in a camper van, which is, I would say, different topic. But all of the videos are related to that topic. So I don't know if the channel banner just needs a bit of a rewriting there.
All right. So the next thing we talk about all the time, we've talked about it a ton today.
Yeah.
Thumbnails. We look at your thumbnails. Do we immediately think, wow, these are great, or they could use some work?
That was such a delay. I pressed that button 10 seconds ago.
I thought you were timing it really well. Well, I agree. I think they could use some work as well. And it goes back to the advice we've been talking about all day. Communicating a clear, simple message, not having too many elements on the thumbnail. Like we got some red, orange, blue, and yellow text here. it makes your eyes jump around. It's hard to focus on one specific word. And that, like all of our normal thumbnail advice, this channel needs to follow. That means you failed. And we move on to the next channel.
Yeah.
I don't
Again,
want to
talking about the channel banner again, it says minimalist, and like these thumbnails are like the complete opposite of minimalist. There's chaos everywhere. There's all sorts of stuff going on. I would actually argue that the best thumbnail here is the one with the worst views, weirdly, which is 12 proven preventative maintenance tips. Like there's a clear, it's the one middle left with the, you can see that the camper van is in trouble there. And that's clearly indicated. Whereas the rest, you got to read the text first, and like none of these are real images. Like you look at the caution one, and it's like something like a sticker book. They've got stickers from different places and just plopped them all together.
Right. And just keep in mind, like when you see this thumbnail, do you think about maintenance or do you think about breakdowns? Which is the thing. A lack of maintenance can lead to this, but again, we were a little too clever here. You went into the future. Like your poor maintenance got you stuck on the side of the road in your RV. Well, that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about maintenance. I think you should have the hood open and you should be in the engine doing something. Like that's maintenance. That's what maintenance looks like. So these are just some of the things we talk about when we talk about thumbnails. We'll move on to the next channel. We'll try this again with a gaming channel. Yep. 451 responses. And we have channel number 410. Okay.
Ooh, right at the top end.
Last one's like that too. 3,000 subscribers, they say. Minecraft cinematic videos, Minecraft modding. All right.
Izakji.
First and foremost, we're going to take a look at your channel focus. And we were told Minecraft cinematic videos and mods. We are getting that. You are sticking to the plan.
Yeah.
3 months of content. The first video is 94,000 views.
Wow.
Thumbnails. Yes, I think. These are in line with a lot of the channels I've seen in this category.
Fairly strong. They have... I don't know why this came into my head immediately. Is it Dynasty or Dallas? You know when it had like this split screen of like 3 different... Does anyone know what I'm talking about here? The TV show.
I've heard the name Dynasty as
again. I'm probably edging myself here. Tish, you're in a chat. You know what I'm talking about here. It's where they'd have like 3 different characters on screen talking at the same. 3 different characters. It's in the intro, and they'd be talking to the camera, like just introducing the different characters. So there's a lot of split screen stuff going on here. Not too chaotic in most of these. Minecraft is plastered over the front of the thumbnail in case you didn't know it was about Minecraft, because maybe some of the thumbnails are a bit too busy in that sense. But yeah, thumbnails are of a fairly strong disposition, I would say.
Now, titles are a bit hard to judge here because it is not English. So what I like about them, though, is that I can read it enough to know that they're using a titling structure that looks familiar to me from other Minecraft modding channels.
Yeah.
They're getting a ton of views, obviously. I think the titles relate to the thumbnails. So all of that looks good to me. I'm pretty happy with that. And then the hook/intro. That's our 4th one now because I have sound today. So why don't we take a look at the latest one? Now, again,
this is going to be hard.
Speak the language. But we can probably sense from the energy and the editing.
Yeah.
You know, things are looking good.
Ya empezamos diciembre. Se acercan las fiestas decembrinas, una de mis temporadas favoritas del año. Solamente pienso en toda la comida que voy a comer. Espero que ustedes también vayan.
Now, they're trying to create like an atmosphere here, and what I like about this is like they're obviously using a lot of modded items, like the stockings and the popcorn machine and stuff.
Yeah, speakers.
So they're trying to tell a little bit of a story here, but the intriguing part, even if you're not here for the story, is like, look at all the cool stuff that is.
Are those Funko Pop packaging of Minecraft characters? All right.
Yeah. So they're using like a lot of imagery that is familiar but not in the game, so we're already like, oh, that's interesting. And again, it's top Minecraft shaders, and so they are indeed using a shader. What I want to know is, are there English subtitles? They're only Spanish ones. So what's interesting to me is that this channel, if they wanted to, and maybe they have, you could spin off an English version of this channel, maybe have like someone else read your script for you. And you could use the same exact content but dubbed over, and have it perform really well on that side of YouTube as well, if you wanted to look for other opportunities.
Dan, can you just play the video for like another 10 seconds? Because what I'm expecting
Dale,
is
muy-
like there's this casual, soft, relaxing atmosphere, and then all of a sudden it's going to burst into like a different pace. But I'm just wondering if that's going to happen or not.
Una comida. Pero bueno, pasando al tema de hoy, amigos. En el video de hoy vamos a revisar los shaders que yo considero son los mejores en...
I do think it picked up a little bit when they start talking about the shaders and stuff, but
Yeah.
it didn't. It wasn't like a boom.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
I think I was waiting for that as well. Let's go to the next chapter.
Apollo RT es un shader que eleva Minecraft con trazado de rayos de primera
No, it just
categoría,
has that
siendo realista.
calm, relaxing cadence, which is unusual. Maybe that's one of their unique selling points as a Minecraft content creator.
Yeah. Well, hey, so first gaming channel we look at, despite it being a foreign language channel, you passed all of our trials.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome.
You won YouTube.
You don't win anything. But what I will say is that this channel could be set up as like a really good example of like a newer channel in a very popular space on YouTube that's doing really, really good work. First video, 94,000 views. Like, that's not to be ignored. This person obviously studied. This thumbnail template here has been used by a lot of people who do like listicles on mods and stuff. So they studied and they started a new channel and they took everything they learned and they applied it and they have made a channel for themselves that provides a lot of value to people who are like in the space trying to find cool Minecraft mods for them and their friends. So congrats. I think this is an awesome channel. Let's take a look. Another delayed sound effect. We have 599 now. I'm just going to assume a 600th person is applying right at this very second. And we will pull out 280. 280. Where did that 600th person go? All right. Documentary deep dives.
10,000 subscribers.
Go to videos. I investigated Jay Schlatt's crimes. I just want to be happy. Space is absolutely terrifying. I recreated awful mobile ads. So we're looking at channel focus first and foremost.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to say about channel focus on this one. The first video, or the latest video, is about a creator. The next video says, I just want to be happy. That could also be about a creator, but then the third video is about space. Space is absolutely terrifying.
And why are logos getting worse?
Yeah. And I understand, like, there are people in the documentary space that do talk about different topics. So I'm not going to say there's no channel focus. I just think that
I agree. Yeah.
the topic jumping is just a little bit like, kind of makes my head spin a little bit because it's hard to. Sometimes it's about creators, specifically like Jay Schlatt comes up a lot.
So if you look at that bottom row, there looks to be a focus there on, like, I guess, exposing creators. Perhaps there was that little bit of vibe. And then the next row on, after Ricegum, then it's clear that I think the creator made a intentional departure from that type of content and was maybe trying to find a new through line. Like maybe they weren't feeling satisfied by the drama content, possibly. So like maybe they are still trying to just find their particular focus long term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's because how to install Minecraft shaders, which is 4 months ago. So we were doing like gaming content before, and we have pivoted now to documentary style content. So you haven't been at the documentary side a very long time. And
who is this? Jay Schlatt. That's their go-to creator, because if you scroll down, they had a video which had 400,000 views. Yeah, they're pretty popular. I guess they had a secret channel. So they kind of found this channel, I suppose, and did a series on it. I'm not saying you can't do a series. I'm not saying you can't jump around for topics. It's just I am stuck on channel focus because it does, like, the most depressed cartoon character couldn't be further from videos about different creators and different things that they've been doing and things like that. It's just such a departure, and space is terrifying. The views are reflecting this departure in like the type of content you're doing, and I think that's where I would say our biggest advice for you is to try and consider the viewer that you want to keep having come back to your channel over and over again. Would you not allow them the permission to do that, in the sense that maybe it's 1 in every 3 or 1 in every 4 videos is something new and experimental? Or is it more
It's true.
50-50?
Yeah, it should be. You should be experimenting. I don't want to discourage that. It's just I'm having a difficult time explaining, but I think I would be experimenting within a certain bit of parameters. And so if you're going to be talking about creators or things that relate to a lot of people, such as I recreated awful mobile ads, that's intriguing to me from like a different perspective. But mobile ads are something everybody has witnessed. Everyone kind of gets it. Not everyone watches certain cartoons and stuff. So like you might know who Garfield is, but you don't really most depressed cartoon characters. Like I don't watch enough cartoons to have that vested interest. But maybe you know who this creator is, or maybe you've seen mobile ads and you're tired of them and someone's done a funny job recreating them. I don't know. Like it needs to appeal to a broad audience. Sometimes it's too broad. Space is absolutely terrifying. Like, okay, that's not like a unique take. So there's, I don't know. You know what I mean? This is difficult. This is really difficult to nail down because like the focus is documentaries, but I feel like we've zoomed out too much in the documentary space.
The creator is honest about this in their about section, Dan. If you look at it, I make videos that I like. So if I randomly switch up the videos, that's why. And I guess from a auditor's point of view, it's like you're self-aware that you're making these changes that may intentionally harm like the discovery of your content. If you're cool with that, that's fine. Because if you click by most popular, whether you like it or not, you've kind of engineered this J/Schlatt's focused channel. And you're probably really desperate not to be pigeonholed into that box. But it can be a go-to topic, which you like. Your most recent video is on that topic as well. So I think it's just like creator awareness here of what the channel is becoming at this stage.
Mm-hmm. So if you're cool with sometimes your returning viewers are in fact not returning, that's great. That's okay. If we were to optimize, Rob and I sitting here like trying to give you some advice, our advice would probably be to shift your focus. But other than that, I'd say your titles and thumbnails. If we were to say, okay, we'll go past channel focus. I think these are good. I think in the sense that most of them, especially the J/Schlatt ones, excuse me, are easy to understand. I would say titles. Space is absolutely terrifying. It's just too broad. It's just too direct, and it says everything it needs to say. So sometimes there needs to be a little bit more added, like intrigue. But I like the simplicity of a lot of these titles.
Yeah, why our logo is getting worse. That's an interesting question with a very clearly defined example of. I don't know. I kind of like the new modern simplified versions of logos, but maybe that's intriguing enough for me to click and find out this person's opinion on the topic.
Yeah. So we'll say you made it to titles. So thank you for submitting your channel.
Curiosity is key. It's definitely right there.
We will head over to the gaming forum, which now has 436 responses. This is the same amount of responses, just mixed up. 346 is the number it picked. That's going to confuse my brain. 346. Okay. qBedwars.
Oh, this is a Minecraft channel, isn't it?
They might have meant just Bed Wars. It could be Minecraft, could be Roblox. Oh, qBedwars is the name of the channel. Channel focus. You think so? Yeah.
It's Minecraft.
I
That's
think
enough channel focus for me.
Even the mouse one is like focused on Minecraft specifically. All right, cool. Yeah, focus is there. Thumbnails. I think they're really high quality.
Like a few elements. Each one, the text is big, epic almost, very easy to read. And kind of a branding colors are blue and green, mostly on these thumbnails. Mm-hmm. Changing the fonts a little bit, but all the fonts are easy to read. So, fine. Good.
Titles. The new Bed Wars update, how to make smooth Minecraft videos. I tried 1,000 Bed Wars packs. This is the top 10. You might be banned on Hypixel. The noob only ranked Bed Wars. So compared to the thumbnails too, yeah, I think the titles are simple. I think I get the point of most of these. They're easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
That's good too.
Yeah, there's curiosity in most of these. I don't know why. I'm always drawn to this most recent video, Dan. Like
This one?
Or why would you need like the fact that I'm saying why when I look at this title and thumbnail, it creates intrigue. Why would you need to buy an expensive mouse for Minecraft? That makes me want to click.
I mean, low ping as well. Like, since this is a competitive game, you would want to make sure you had like low latency in every aspect, you know? So I could see that. Well, we can look at it because hook and intro is what we're up to. How do these videos actually do when we click on them?
All right.
This is the Ponage Stormbreaker mouse.
Whoa, what happened?
Okay, so it's different creators talking about it. I thought that was the creator. I'm like, this is a different channel.
Mouse, and it's honestly one of my favorite mice.
Oh my god, this is live.
This one.
All right. Okay.
But is that actually true? Well, the only way to find out is to buy the actual mouse, and that's exactly what I did. I waited and waited until the mouse finally arrived. The unboxing experience felt very premium, even though...
Okay, so we're 20 seconds in, and I stopped because I was confused. I saw a creator doing like a tech review, and I thought, well, that's a pretty nice setup, but it doesn't seem like a Minecraft channel anymore. But then switched to another creator, and then another creator doing review. So it's so important that those first few seconds are not confusing, I guess. And we did click on a video about a mouse, but something felt off to me instantly, and it made me want to stop, you know?
It was a bit clunky, yeah, I'll give you that. I guess starting with the montage of other creators threw me a bit. And I didn't feel as if that was very well edited. Now, it might have been the way you played the video, Dan. I don't know if there was a bit of delay or not, but it sounded like there was voices on top of each other and like the transitions felt a bit weak. And, you know, maybe we've just found a bad example of a hook for this channel.
It is possible. It didn't speak Minecraft, but it was the best mouse for Minecraft. So I guess I just expected something else. It's not the worst in the world. Let's look at one more.
All right.
How about, let's see. This is simple. The new Bedwars update. Explain.
All right. Okay.
All right, last year, Hypixel has promised us a new Bedwars update, and yeah, they have released one thing, and that was the rotational items update. But you might remember they also said that this was only the first part of the update, and now we actually got the second part. And I'm here to tell you guys all you need to know about the new Bedwars update. I'm getting rushed though, so I'm just gonna have to.
Okay.
Wow.
Couple of notes. You jumped right into the topic. That's good. You're playing Minecraft. That's good. Like, you're playing Bedwars. I'd say the audio quality has changed. And it's only been a few videos, but the audio quality in this one wasn't as great.
Yeah, it was peaking.
Yeah.
That might be intentional. I don't know if you want it to sound like that, but to me it sounded a bit tough, a bit grating.
The thing that I don't like about this video is that I have anxiety because you started, and I thought you were just going to talk about the update, but you are playing Bedwars, so you're being chased by people, and now I'm not going to get the focus I need. I want to know what's in the update, and you tease that you're going to tell me we got this update, but now there's a new update. But first, I'm being attacked. It's like, whoa. I just wanted to learn about the update, and you're putting me in a very tense position now as the viewer, where I'm trying to like learn about this. Because I'm trying to get back to Bedwars. I want to go, like, you know, win some points.
Beds. Some duvet covers.
I want to score a goal unit, and I can't because now I'm just sitting here tense because you're not, you know, telling me the update. Now, it's only a 3-minute video or 4-minute video. You probably get back to it pretty quick. But I would say it is a bit jarring. Second video we watch, just a bit jarring. So be thinking about, who is this video for? Who's going to click on it? It's someone who just wants the information. They want to move on, but you felt unprepared in your intro. And then it became clear why you were unprepared and why you were rushing. Cause you were like, all right, so there's this new update, and you're running around, you're grabbing stuff and switching your camera back and forth in a way that's like a little much. And then we find out, oh, you're playing the game. Everything's tense for you right now. So I might have gone to a different video at that point if I was just trying to get the information.
Dan harsh there.
I don't mean to be that harsh. It's just, look at your analytics and see if they reflect that. Look at where people drop off in your analytics graph. See if that's in line with how I was feeling, because I'm just one person. All right, you've passed our trials. We got caught up on the hook in the intro a bit. Ultimately, this channel is doing a lot of really cool things, but I'm glad we looked at the videos because I do feel like there's a bit of tuning up they could use.
Yeah, strong packaging, I would say that.
Oh, yeah. All right. We'll look at the next channel from the non-gaming form, which is 629 strong. And we will pick 85. 85. There we go. NewJerseyWalker. This sounds familiar. They said we've not looked at their channel before.
New Jersey.
Okay. I don't recognize these thumbnails.
No, I don't.
24 subscribers, 12 videos. No shorts. Channel focus.
I would definitely give that a yes to the channel focus. I have not heard of any of these places, so I will assume they are very local to the area of New Jersey.
I would say, yeah, channel focus is there for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thumbnails.
So,
hard to say.
what do you think? Are you okay with just like the big, fairly readable text at the top? Is it readable? I don't know.
The font is a bit of a choice.
When I look at one thumbnail, I can read it clearly, but then when I just look at the channel as a whole, the font is somehow harder to read. Like it's difficult to pick out amongst many. Not that you're seeing many of these thumbnails together on a typical YouTube page.
What if we did NJ? What? NJ walking tour.
New Jersey.
So one thing I've noticed with walking tour videos especially is they always go at least 4K if they can. And the thumbnails always look really, really sharp because they're trying to communicate that, like, I'm going to walk around New Jersey. It's going to be really high quality. There's not a lot of talking in these. It's literally just like them with a camera walking the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And these videos aren't really advertising themselves as walking tours. So maybe there's more commentary involved, which is fine. But I still think the walking tour template could work for you. The problem is these are dark and it's difficult to like they're blown out. Like the sky in some cases, I don't want to say blown out, but like the sky is bright and the people in the front or their shadows are over them. And so it's just hard to like get a sense of everything visually. I think the pictures themselves that are being used in these thumbnails, font aside, could be better.
Now that you're saying that, I assume the creator is saying, right, at 3 minutes 14, I'm going to stop the video there and I'm going to take this freeze frame and that's going to be our thumbnail. So the creator needs to take a dedicated thumbnail of the most intriguing image from the walk as you're doing the walk. So I guess that's a fairly obvious and straightforward thing to start working on, Dan, in terms of this channel's next steps.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fail.
Yeah, it is a fail. I will say that if I were to go to titles next, I would really focus on topics rather than the titles themselves. I think it's cool that you went to like this boardwalk and these like got some good views because I think you went to a destination. You didn't just like go down a certain street. You're at a destination, and I can assume you're if you are providing commentary, you're probably telling me about the destination and things like that. So just be watching topics because like certain like towns and stuff may be more popular than others. Like if someone's going on vacation, like what are like the top 10 places that they're going to be thinking about visiting? And I'd start there as like for just trying to get some new viewers in the door.
Yeah, think about total addressable market here. Like you go 50 miles north and you're in New York and everybody wants to see walking tours of New York and New York City. But does Belmar and Forks River and Asbury Park have that same cachet? And you'll be able to find out by doing a quick search on YouTube trends. And then like, Dan, you did a search for just NJ walking tours and like the biggest videos were getting like tens of thousands of views, which suggests not a huge market for this topic.
Yeah. So we have some supers here that I don't want to lose real quick.
Good job you brought them up because I was going to say that myself.
Flaming Gamer says, I blew up 3 years ago, but I don't know what to do now that it's not doing well. I had no prior YouTube knowledge. I feel a bit stuck.
This sounds like the curse of a viral video. where somebody just had something that took off on their channel and then they didn't know how to replicate it. That can be quite frustrating and demoralizing. It was a long time ago, so my guess is that you can't really follow up on that topic now. The trend is maybe past, or competition has moved in that maybe makes it difficult to return to that topic. So this may just need like a complete restart, in a sense of, there's a video that I often mention that Dan made, which is how to get a new subscriber every single day. And it's about creating your ideal viewer. And from there, coming up with ideas and content to make around the topic of that ideal viewer.
Mm-hmm. I think it sounds like it's time for a bit of a break so that you can sit down and like reinvent who you want to be as a creator. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to start a new channel. It depends on how different that channel is going to be, I suppose, or with that new content. But that's what it sounds like when I felt how you feel at one point, which I did. That's when I had to sit down and go, what do I want my content to even be? And I just kind of sat back and watched some creators that and started to gain respect for what they were doing and get inspiration for what they were doing. Going, I feel like I could do that in my own way, you know. And then I started to reinvent the wheel a little bit for myself. So it does kind of sound like one of those moments. How do I sell my personality in gaming? Like JSE/MP. Now, I don't know what that last bit means. But how do you sell your personality in gaming? One avenue I've been talking about is getting people to understand you as like the person who does blank. Spiffing Brit breaks video games and breaks YouTube and breaks things. That's just what he's known for. He breaks things. What do you want to be known for? Like I have like I'm really good at teaching, so I make really, really good tutorials that help people. Or I find glitches in games and I exploit them, or whatever it might be. Like making your personality stand out is having something about you that's beyond just like, hey, I talk really loud when I play Minecraft. You know, that's not really memorable. What about you and the things you're interested in can be like memorable things that become part of your content? Doug is the first person I think of when I think about people playing games but involving their community, their Twitch chat or whatever it might be in the content. That's like one of his things that he does. He's known for a few things, and that's one of them. So, you know, that's really what it's about, is like what are you passionate about, and like how can you kind of bring a thing into your content?
If you want to take this to the next level, read a book called Primal Branding, and that will answer why I'm wearing these glasses right now.
Maxie says, I love you, vidIQ. You have rebranded and made... I have rebranded and made a new channel, sorry. 7+ years on another channel. I am openly transgender, COD content creator, and comp player looking for the next steps to grow.
That is awesome to hear. I would encourage you to celebrate, embrace, and share your uniqueness on YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations again. You know, be learning from creators that you respect and always looking for inspiration, new ideas. Geosolve says, I create Olympiad geometry problem solution videos in long form.
No idea what that is.
I don't know what that means, but cool. My retention is about 40-50%. Any suggestion to increase this in my niche?
We need to know what the video length is to judge if that's a good number or not. We have no idea what the niche is about, if we're honest. So it's only going to be conventional ideas in terms of engaging the audience with a question, posing them something to think about as you're working through the content. Pattern interrupts, you know, the usual stuff of like good editing, music, sound effects. Again, I don't know if that really fits into Olympiad geometry problem solving, but maybe there's a key here, Dan. Problem solving. So like you're stacking problems on top of problems. Like you get the viewer into a video with one problem, but then new problems come along. If you watch like a Mr. Beast video, for example, it starts with one concept, but they're always introducing new problems. And given you are a problem-solving channel, that could be the natural path to go down.
Mm-hmm. 1 to 5 minutes is their video length on average. And yeah, I always go back to who's your audience, right? Like, you're trying to help them, and what are they going to get out of your video? Are they trying to learn something for like a class they're taking, or are you trying to make geometry interesting? It's all going to kind of dictate how you present in your content. So yeah, best of luck. Trey says Rebecca is my coach. She helped my last video 100%. Love to hear that.
Whoop whoop. If you would like your own coach, then check out the link in the description.
Thank you. Jordan says I'm living off YouTube income since June. Congrats.
Wow. So it's a full-time YouTuber then, right?
Yeah, I'm worried about post-December CPM drops, as is everybody. You've mentioned it in your videos. How do you mitigate this?
Get off the AdSense gravy train, because it's more like an icing on the cake type of situation.
So AdSense is like that. It's seasonal. There's two ways to mitigate this. Like Rob said, get off the gravy train, meaning start looking for brand deals, get memberships going, so like get multiple streams of income. We talked about that a lot in past live streams and videos. And then what was the other thing? Oh, savings. Start saving money. Be prepared for that season. I used to do freelance work, and that was also seasonal the way I was doing it. And so there were times in the year that were really, really slow, and I had no clients. And there were other months where it was really, really busy. And during those months, I would try and remember, like, it's going to get slow in a couple months. I need to start saving now. So make sure that you are just, financially responsible in that regard.
It is awesome that they are making an income off of YouTube, but in a weird sense, you're YouTube's employee, even though you're not. But like, YouTube controls your destiny right now. So find ways to spread. And to be honest, if you're only making money off of AdSense, then you're probably making 20 to 30% of your actual potential. So start doing the research. I'm making money outside of AdSense. We've made videos on it, and there's plenty of videos on YouTube. But congratulations for turning the passion and the dream into at this point, sustainable income.
Mad About Golf. Can I upload the same video in long form and in short form? Does YouTube penalize creators for doing this? Absolutely not. They do not penalize creators. In fact, a lot of creators take something they made in long form. We do it. If you look at the Jenny Hoyo short and video and long we've been talking about today, that literally was us taking the long form video and condensing it into less than a minute story about what Jenny taught us, basically. So you can absolutely repurpose content.
Are they talking about maybe like exactly the same video, but it's just a portrait format instead of a landscape?
That could be, depending on how short their longs are, I guess.
Yeah.
I've seen people do it. I don't think there's a penalty. In my opinion, the shorts audience...
Dan's opinion.
In my opinion, the shorts audience is not the same exact people as the longs audience, which is why it's so hard to get them to come to your long form videos. And I'm not saying that if you watch shorts, you only watch shorts. I'm saying that people watch shorts in a certain mood. They're in a certain mindset, a certain moment in time where they're like, I just want to chill. I want YouTube to feed me some content really quick. Whereas a long form viewer is like, I'm about to have my dinner. I want to sit down in front of the TV and have a video play that's like 20 minutes long. And there's a difference between those two folks at that time. So your short form version of the long form video could get to that new audience, but I don't think YouTube will see that and go, hey, you can't do that. I've never seen that happen.
Hey. Sorry, I made me laugh.
And NewJerseyWalker says, thanks for the review. After doing a lot of genre research, it seems that thumbnails with people or action in them are the ones that get views. Oh, cool. You're already doing research. I'd love to see that. Thank you for submitting your channel. And for
Dan, have you still got that channel up, or have we moved on? Is it the last one we looked at?
Yes, I have it.
Can you just bring it up again? So if we look at the thumbnails, yeah, they do have people in them, but in most cases, as you say, Dan, the lighting is just really odd on some of these. They're all it's almost like they're always in shade, and there's either too many people to really focus on one person doing a particular action, or the action isn't that interesting. I mean, maybe the one with the Summer at the Seaside is the best one, because the people are closer to the camera and they're wearing summer outfits, which kind of matches the vibe of the whole
boardwalk,
the whole video. But then the iconic Amesbury Park Broadwalk, it's so zoomed out, and it's just the back of people walking in a direction. So yeah, maybe that's what I mean by maybe you have to just take a moment out of the filming and then set up a engineered shot, so to speak, to get something that just like chef's kiss, that encapsulates my entire video in a single image.
Just high quality picture for your thumbnails. Best of luck. Best of luck to all of you. We are done.
Dan is done. All right.
Yep.
Let's play the outro music.
Yep. Thank you for watching. It's been awesome. We're here next week. I'm not, but you are, right?
I am here.
And then we're off Christmas week.
Yeah, I guess we should announce that now. On the 26th of December, which is in 2 weeks' time, we will be taking a break. So that will break the streak, I think. We'll do 51 episodes of Channel Audit live streams in 2024. But we assume you will all be taking a well-deserved break along with us. So, Dan, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Everyone else, I'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. I didn't have the outro ready. I can't find it. Is it? Maybe it's this one.